Hi, I'm Edward Fuentes, and this is Ernest Prue. And we went to see Monty Python's Spamalot Saturday, May 3rd at 7:30 p.m. So, it was actually a lot better than most of the plays we've seen this semester.
This one was actually funny, and I stayed awake the whole time.
See, it actually felt like a play. Like the other ones, they felt like plays, but they felt like the low budget ones that you kind of were forced to go to.
The actors actually, I felt like, really cared about their roles, and they made it a way better and believable experience.
Also, what helped is that we didn't have to go to that small theater in, I think it was Weismer. Like, we didn't feel compact and like too close to the actors, and whenever we were in Weismer, I always felt like I was uncomfortable with how close we were to the actors, unless they were trying to like do something. Here in Laxton, it was like you can see the actors, but you don't feel like they're gonna, like, if they trip or something, they're not gonna fall on you. What the fuck, dude? I'm gonna cut this part. Um, Self-reflective on art, like, I can see how it would be a little racist, and like it doesn't. I don't think it has much impact outside of theater. It didn't impact me at all. Like, it was a fun thing to watch, and I understand it's comedy, which is pretty good. I love comedies and I love musicals, so it kind of worked for me, like on a whole bunch of different levels. But the problem I seem to have with this one is that, like, the only problems I can remember is one
There was
thing.
they were talking about Jews, and they were talking about like gay people.
Like, the gay stuff didn't bother me as much because it was like, oh, we're making fun and stuff. The only problem though, the thing that bothered me about the Jew stuff is like they asked the question, like they asked the audience.
Yeah, I really thought they were like asking the audience. I was looking around to see if people are gonna raise their hand. I'm like, are people gonna get offended or not?
Yeah, because all I see is like someone, they ask, are there any Jews in the house? And I'm like, I think this feels a little racist to me.
And then they brought down the giant Star of David that was just flashing the entire time. I'm like, is that a little too far? No.
Like, I understand how you see that. Like, the start day, like, that made me giggle a bit. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little funny to me.
It's a cool prop, but
It still felt like felt a little offensive.
yeah.
I had to wash my hands afterwards. That's that sort of thing. Like, I don't feel like super bad about it. Like, oh no, how will I ever survive after seeing this play? No, it was mostly like I feel a little dirty. I feel like I should have taken a shower after the Jewish thing because it made me feel a little racist when I laughed at it. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I didn't really see this as political. Did you?
The only thing I remember was when she was like, I didn't vote for you as king, but I don't know about that.
Like, yeah, the most political they ever got was when the lady's like, "Oh, I didn't vote for you," and that was a funny scene, and I didn't really feel like it was like, "Oh, we're talking about
Yeah.
politics,"
I didn't see them trying to go after any current event or anything.
which is understandable. The play is old.
Yeah, but don't they just add on to make it like modern?
Yeah, like, well, you're right. They did add on the parts with Chico, like at the end, like, "Oh, you will all be
Yeah,
written down in
also, what
Chico's
does
name."
the fox say? I thought that was hilarious.
I didn't see that part,
I saw it.
but I don't feel like it was a really powerful, like a powerful play. It was escapist really to me. I didn't see it as like, oh man, we're talking about today's problem. It's like, oh no, we're gonna make a whole bunch of jokes and have a good time for about 2 hours or so. Besides that, the play was really good. I understand the source material. I've seen the movie before, which is a really good movie.
I haven't seen the movie, so I did not know what to expect, and I really liked the play.
Yeah, the musical numbers were great. Um, Besides that, there's not much to talk about the play for me. On ends, like, nothing really powerful that struck me like as shocking. I was like, oh, now I got to go back and revisit my life and think about this after this play. All I thought was, I watched this play. It was a really fun time, and it was super entertaining. but I can see some maybe offensive parts, like how you said the gay stuff, which like they were really flamboyant is the word I'm looking for.
Very. That whole part, like right after, like they rip his clothes off, and then they start the whole dancing.
It's like it's all tight clothes and like it's very like what do you think the stereotypical gay man is, and that's the stereotypical gay man.
Yep.
Like which they didn't really do like the stereotypical Jewish, luckily. So that's why I didn't feel that offensive by it.
Well, they did the whole dancing part.
Oh, they
but
did.
That was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, they did the parts of like they did technically stereotypical Jewish, like with the hat and like the little curls on the side.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like it felt like the most offensive part, like if any of it was offensive, which I didn't think so, would be the flamboyantly gay, where they're like ripping off his clothes and it's all really tight, and he's the strong man who's like, oh no, I'm secretly homosexual and love men. And the prince was the prince was he was the prince.
Wouldn't the political part be since he was like, in 1,000 years this will still be controversial?
Oh yeah, okay, I forgot about that part completely. I guess you're right. That would still be like that's pretty political. I'm not gonna lie, but it really didn't hit me that politically. It was a joke. It was meant to be funny. It didn't make me think, man, it's been 1,000 years and they still don't accept it. It was like it's been 1,000 years and that joke's still funny. But besides that, it was a really good play. There was one problem during the play that I don't know if you noticed it, but the prince, his mic was like a little off that night. Like you kept getting like the weird echo sounds, like if you put two phones together.
I didn't hear that, but the part I had trouble with was when they found the Holy Grail. I was right next to the lady that was walking up with it, and they had the spotlight like right on my face, and I was like blind for that entire part.
So not much complaints about the play. I actually really liked it, and I've watched The Holy Grail, as I stated, which is a really good movie. The only thing that I missed was like they break the fourth wall a lot in this play, which was pretty funny actually. They did that a bit in the movie, but they missed a few parts of the movie, like a few scenes, like the bridge scene, which you showed us. But besides that, the play's good. I feel like it makes fun of other plays by actually.
Oh yeah, they're doing some jazz thing. Becca was talking about it, but I had no idea what it was. It was like some other play.
Yeah, they were like
and something about Phantom of the Opera too.
Yeah, they were they were starting to make fun of other plays, which I didn't really notice until afterwards, which I had a conversation with someone else in our class, and they're like, "Well, yeah, they started making fun of plays." I'm like, I didn't really notice it until afterwards, but I can see how it's made like, oh, Broadway won't exist for 1,000 years, and they're like, how are we gonna get a show on Broadway? And the joke is that they're already on Broadway. So it was I can see it made fun of actual musicals, which I sometimes admit they're a little ridiculous. But besides that, it was a good play.
Yep.
That was 8 minutes. Is it still recording? The still button's still moving. Did it just freeze?